Hello, BookTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with the start of another weekly reading vlog. This is for week, I think it's 26, and today is Monday, June the 20th. It's about 7 a.m. and as you can see, I'm outside and I'm exercising. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. Not promising I'm going to do this every day, but I know I need to do something, so, Anyway, I just thought I would open up the vlog with a different opening than my usual sitting in my book room. So I will get some footage. It's not very interesting. This is just my neighborhood, but there is a lot of places to walk around here. So I'm going to take advantage of it and not start off too advantageous. I'm going to just kind of try and keep it like a half an hour to, half an hour or so walk. And yeah, but I am listening to a Nancy Drew book. I will explain about that when I get back. When I get back, I'm going to make a coffee and I am going to get showered and dressed, and then I will update you guys on my reading for today and the plans, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi friends, it is now about 9:30 in the morning on Monday. I am back, obviously, from my walk. I came home, I made a coffee, very important, sat down, enjoyed my coffee, added a square to my sock yarn blanket. And I left it here so I could show you guys, because I haven't really shown you crafty stuff in the last few weeks on the vlog. So I realized that I wasn't paying attention to where I was adding the square, and I put it in the wrong spot, but it's fine, it'll all work out in the wash. It'll all work out as it goes. So that's the bottom corner there. So what I had been doing here was, this is the square that I started with, the one that I have my little, I put that there so I would know what the bottom corner was, right? And then what I did was I kind of just built around it. So I added one on top and then beside, and then the one here. And then I slowly started building. So, I'm constantly getting it's constantly going to be a true square. I start with the one square and then I build around it to make a bigger square, bigger square, bigger square. So how I've been doing it is that I have been starting down here and going all the way up and adding a row. And then when I get to the top, I start up here and I go straight across. The problem was that I wasn't paying attention and I added one right here. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to add from here, and I'm going to add a row across here, and then I'm going to go back and add the row up here. So it'll all work out. It's not a big deal, but that's the square that I added this morning. It's a little peach colored. Is it backwards? Guys, I got to tear it out anyway. Look at it. Can you see? Can you see? It's going the wrong direction. All that work this morning for nothing because it's not correct. I'm a little annoyed now. It's fine. It's fine. I still have enough of this yarn to put another one in. So I'll tear this one out and I'll put it back where it should have been, which is over here. So I'll show it to you guys correct tomorrow. But yeah, so there's the blanket in its entirety at this point. I'm really, really happy with it. So I just slowly, like I said, build it bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually when I feel it's done, it's done. And as long as it's a square, that's all I care about. So yay. So I worked on that, and while I was on my walk and working on that this morning and messing it up clearly, sorry, I just threw that over there. I was listening to a Nancy Drew book. So I mentioned this morning when I was on my walk. So Nancy Drew is not available on audio. Not to my understanding. I've looked on Audible and have not seen anything. However, there's a YouTuber that I have come across, and her name is Penelope Heaven, I think. I'm going to link her directly below so you guys can go and check her out. She has been narrating the Nancy Drew books on YouTube. So she puts them together like in a grouping, so you'll get like a playlist of all of that one book, and each video is a different chapter, which is kind of great. Like, I've seen some other people who are narrating audiobooks who, like, it's like a 10-hour long audiobook of them narrating it. It's like the whole thing. But I love the fact that she broke it down into chapters. I think that's fantastic. So she's really good, you guys. Like, her voice is extremely pleasant to listen to. I like her a lot. So I am listening to, I don't have a physical copy of the book anyway, but I don't have my device out here to show you guys the cover, is The Mystery of the Brass Bound Trunk, which I think is number 17 in the Nancy Drew Mystery Story series. So the ones that she's narrating are the original Yellow Spine books. I don't know if she's done them all in order, or if she's picking and choosing, but I did look, and the one that I'm going to be reading in July, she is also narrated. So I'll be listening to that on YouTube as well. So it's been really great. The only thing is that with YouTube, if you're going to listen to it on audio, you need to leave the player open. You can't even like turn the screen off because it'll stop playing unless you have YouTube Premium, which I do pay for, because sometimes I like for this, for example, I'll download these so I can listen to them in the car on the way to work or while I was out for my walk this morning and I'm not killing my data plan. And also I can go ad free, which is kind of great because I do watch a lot of YouTube. So for me, paying for premium is like having, like, we don't pay for Netflix. We don't have Netflix. We don't have Disney Plus. We have Amazon Prime and a couple other things, but this is like a streaming service in a way that I use. And I watch, again, YouTube is pretty much all that I watch. So for me to pay the $12 or $13 a month for premium is well worth my money. And that's just my 2 cents on the subject. So yeah, so I listened to that this morning. I'm almost done. I have like a few chapters left, so I'm going to finish that on my way to work. And then I have, I'm reading still The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers. Gotta get this book done. I'm about halfway through it. I am really liking it. I just haven't been picking up a lot of physical books lately. And like, if you guys watched last week's vlog, you know, I finished one book over the entire week, which is very, very odd for me. And I have some big reading plans for this week. So we shall see what happens. I'm hoping for a lot of reading this week. I haven't been in a slump per se, but I've just been so busy that I'm trying to get, back into like, I've been busy and I'm trying to deal with the busy and still, do stuff that I enjoy. Like, because I don't want to just be busy at work and then come home and veg out. I would like to do more reading. I would like to do more other things. Like going for this walk this morning, I'm hoping is going to start giving me more energy if I continue to do this. So my goal is I would like to be going for a walk every day, but weather permitting, we shall see. I do not belong to a gym. I debated on joining a gym. There's one not far from me, and it's really, really cheap. Pretty much I'd be paying about $10 a month to use their treadmills. But I'd like to hold off on that until the fall, like when the weather starts getting cold. Because if I can keep the momentum up of going for walks every day, then come the fall when it gets too cold for me to do that, then I can join the gym and be like, okay, I can justify it because I am doing this. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of my goal on that one. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta make my breakfast, or eat my breakfast, make my lunch, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Morning, friends. Happy Tuesday. Today is the 21st of June. Happy summer solstice, everyone. But more importantly, happy 5th birthday to my adorable little nephew, Jonathan. I know he's never going to see this, but I'm just putting it out there in the universe. Happy birthday to John. I hope he has a fantastic day today. So I did a quick little 20-second clip. I went out for a walk again this morning. Super proud of myself. Super pumped. Now I'm home. I just shot a video that will have already gone up, and I'm drinking my coffee. We're back down for coffee and a chat, my friends. And I have a new coffee creamer that I'm using today. It's from Coffee Mate, and I think it would be available in Canada only, and it's Coffee Crisp, which is a chocolate bar up here in Canada, which is the most delicious thing in the entire world. And that coffee creamer is just to die for. I'm absolutely loving it. So Reading update, you guys. I finished a book yesterday. Yay! So yesterday I finished reading The Mystery of the Brass Bound Trunk by Carolyn Keene. This is the 17th book in the Nancy Drew Mystery Stories series. I mentioned yesterday I did listen to this one on audio in a way by a woman on YouTube who narrates these books. It was delightful. She did such a fantastic job. So in this book, Nancy is actually traveling to South America. So her father buys her this like very fancy steamer trunk, which is what one did in the 1940s. And you pack it on this steamer trunk and then you take this boat down to South America. And the steamer trunk has her initials on it, ND for Nancy Drew. It's very fancy, and then it goes missing, and there are jewel thieves involved. I mean, the one thing about these books is that there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of characters. It was really good. I gave it 3.5 stars. I liked it quite a bit. To be completely honest, though, I could see this book being extremely problematic in today. There were some parts of the book that I was kind of like, really, Nancy? Racism, let's be real. Not in your face blatant, but definitely stuff that would be very much considered off color nowadays. The way they refer to some of the people in South America, the fact that they refer to South America as a country as opposed to the fact it's a continent. Like just stuff like that, like talking about, like, I think all of the currency that they used were pesos, and I'm thinking, now I don't know anything about currency or currency in the 1940s, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure in Argentina, did they use a peso in the 1940s? I don't know. To me, it just seemed like they were using what a white middle-class teenager or whatever would have known reading this book in 1940. Does that make sense? So from my understanding is that the reading, the book that is being read by this person on YouTube, Penelope, that she has it says the original text, but I don't think it's the original text, because I think the original text was even maybe a little bit more off color than this one was. Because I think that they altered these quite a bit before re-releasing them, but I'm not absolutely certain. So, sorry, I just had to fix my lip gloss there before it dried out. I just noticed it. So, anyway, yeah. So that is what I finished yesterday. I liked it. It was fun. I'm enjoying reading through this series. The next book, the one that I have to read for the month of July, she narrates as well. So, I've already got that saved on my YouTube, in my YouTube, playlist or something like that. So I have that to listen to. So for those of you who are wanting to read through this series and they're not available on audio, maybe check her out. Like, I know for sure she's done like the first 4 or 5. So that might be somewhere to start. And the great thing too about the YouTube is you can increase the speed on the videos. And I do that for those. It's just the same as if I'm listening to an audiobook and I speed it up. So anyway, speaking of audiobooks, what am I currently reading? So I did something on the back of my tablet. I did start a new audiobook yesterday when I finished the Nancy Drew, because I finished that one on my way to work. Then on my way home from work, I listened to this. Plus, I went for another walk this morning, of course, as you guys already saw. So I did listen to this a bit while I was on my walk this morning. And I plan to sit down and do some knitting. I don't have to start work yet. I'm working from home today. I'm working from home today and tomorrow, and I have to go in on Thursday, and then I work from home on Friday. So that is great. So I don't have to rush out the door, essentially. Whoops. I hit the wrong thing there. So let me bring up the cover of the book I am currently reading. There it is. So I am currently reading on audio The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah M. Eden, which is the second book in the Dread Penny Society, or the Penny Dreadful Society. I think it's the Penny Dreadful Society. This is being called a proper romance, and I think in that term, it's not something that I really like. I don't, to me, it denotes that any other romance that you read is improper. That's not the case. But I think that what they mean by proper romance would be like Jane Austen's time. So it would have been a proper romance for this time period because it is, I believe it's Victorian, set in the Victorian era. So it's about our main characters both write these penny dreadfuls. Or no, he writes these penny dreadfuls, which were a thing back in Victorian London where writers under pseudonyms would write these little serializations, and they'd sell them for a penny, which is why they were called penny dreadfuls. And, you know, lower class children and people of, you know, who could afford would buy them, but also a lot of the upper class bought them. But I laugh when they talk about them because they say like the upper class people would read them, but wouldn't let anyone know. And I feel like that's that reading snobbery that is still a thing to this day, even within the romance community itself, right? So like romance readers, collectively, we all love romance novels. However, there is a select group of romance readers who look down their nose at stuff like category romance, like Harlequin books, right? Like these would be the penny dreadfuls of today. Like in that context, that there's a lot of people who love these books but don't want to admit to the fact that they love these books because they're considered to be dime store whatever novels. So, but the penny dreadfuls were more like mysteries and stuff like that. But just to put it into context, so yeah, so he writes these and they are looking for someone who is stealing these objects, and she is the thief, and she's stealing back her family's jewels and things like that she feels were stolen from them. I don't know. You don't know yet the entire backstory. I'm about 20% of the way through this right now. And intermixed within the actual story that we're reading about these two characters, we're also getting a penny dreadful story called The Gentleman and the Thief. So it's really delightful. I'm really enjoying it. I love the first book in this series, and I think that there's more after this one, so I'm really looking forward to that. So the other things that I am reading, let me just get a little organized here, my friends. I decided to, okay, let me do one thing at a time here.
5 minutes later.
So first of all, I'm just going to pop the covers up here. I try not to do that, but this is just giving me too much hassle this morning. So first of all, I am still reading The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers. I need to get this book done. I got a little bit of it read yesterday, but I was at the office yesterday and it was quite busy, and then quite busy when I got home, so not a lot of reading time. And then I was in a live reading sprints last night, but the funny thing is that a lot of the time, those live reading sprints, you don't tend to do a lot of reading. So I didn't get a lot of reading done. I was dealing with dinner stuff and then preparing for the video that I shot just before this one that went up on Tuesday or today. So yeah, my goal is to get a good bit of this read. Anyway, longer clip today. So sorry, you guys. That's all that I have. Oh, my blanket. So I showed you guys my blanket yesterday that I had put that square in the wrong spot. So I tore it out last night. And I re-added the yarn back to the little ball that I have here. And I put it back in the right spot. So I'm still working on it. So I'm going to edit now the video that's going to go out today. And then, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to work on this square. And then I'm going to add another square for today. So I will show you guys this tomorrow and show you guys the squares that I've added. So anyway, that is it. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi friends, happy Wednesday. Today is the 22nd of June and it is about, 9:30 in the morning. So I went for my walk again this morning, you guys. Super pumped about that. I did almost 2 kilometers. So I'm in the groove. I probably got a little bit of video again. I know it's probably pretty boring every day. That's why I'm only filming like 20 seconds. But just to show you guys that I went for my walk, kind of accountability for me in a way, right? So I just filmed a video. I have books all over my desk. They're all intrigue novels because I just filmed a category spotlight video on the intrigue line that went up on Thursday. So be sure to check that out in case you want to know more about the intrigue line, which is a favorite of mine, of course. But anyway, quick reading update. Oh, excuse me for reaching. Oh, first off, today I'm drinking out of a bit of a different mug. So it says, my new book boyfriend is a cowboy. And this is The Men of Stone Ridge. And this was sent to me by the absolutely delightful Heatherly Bell. I will leave a link to her. Oh, Bernard is leaving the room. He's so crafty. Leave link to her author page on the Harlequin website, and you can check out her book. She does some great cowboy romances. She has a whole series called Charming Texas. That's part of the special edition line that you should definitely go check out. But yeah, she sent me this in the mail, and I'm using it to drink my coffee this morning because it's awesome. So yay on that one. So reading update. I have not finished anything. I am still reading my way through The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah M. Eden, and I am enjoying that. I have a couple of hours left on it. My goal is to finish that one today. I am also reading still. I was a lot busier at work yesterday than I anticipated. I am still reading The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers. My goal is to finish that by tomorrow. That's kind of my goal. Is tomorrow is what the goal I have set in my head for that one. I hope to get it done soon. And I did want to share with you guys, I did not share this yet, but I actually went out and bought some of these pop sockets. So there are these that it sticks onto the back of my Kindle, and I've seen other people use them, and guys, I'm kind of obsessed. I read so much off my Kindle that I had to, so this one is just so cute and summery. And these are the official pop sockets, so I can actually pop off like this part and change it up if I so desire. So it won't fit into a case anymore with the pop socket on it, but I prefer using that. And my Kindle lives in a sleeve. And I also got one for my Kobo. I just got a plain black one just to start off with. But yeah, so, and I'm also reading a lot of the bind ups on these as well. So yeah, so I really like them for holding. Like, I just think it's just fantastic. I can hold it like this, and then this thumb can just flip pages, and life's easy. I am really happy with this purchase. So yeah, but anyway, that's it, guys. Not too much to share with you. Hopefully I will have some finished books, or at least a finished book to share with you guys tomorrow. So I'll talk to y'all then. Bye, guys. Hi friends, happy Thursday. Today's the 23rd of June, and it is actually later in the afternoon. It's about 3:45, and so the lighting is a little bit different than what you would normally see from me in the morning when I sit down. So I had planned to sit down with you guys this morning, did not get a chance to, was in a bit of a rush. I had to go into the office today, but I did go out for my walk this morning. So you will have seen probably that video, that little clip. You know, I just like doing those fun little clips every morning to show that, hey, it's in a way, it's me, you know, kind of holding myself accountable that I actually went out and did something. So I'm very proud of myself. 4 days in a row. I know it's not a huge to-do, but it is for me. So I'm very happy with that. And the other thing too, just a complete side note, that not that this is ever becoming any kind of fitness channel at all, is that I am trying to take longer routes to walk, like at work itself. Like when I get to the office, there's a parking garage. And instead of like, because I'm usually on the second level, like, do you know what I mean? So instead of like taking the stairs, which I mean, taking the stairs is fine, but it's a more direct route because, you know, I actually walk down the ramps, like staying close to the side. It's not a busy, you know, cars come in and out of there a few times an hour. So it's not a super busy parking garage, but I walk it instead. And then when I get to the office, we're on the second floor, and instead of taking the elevator, I've been taking the stairs. And I do the same when I leave. So I take the stairs back down and then I walk back up the ramp back to my car. So it's a couple hundred extra steps a day, but it's something, right? All in an effort to try and be a bit more healthy. The eating habits will come later. Right now I'm very happy just getting out and moving, and I feel really good. So anyway, I did go for my walk this morning. But in reading related news, which is why you guys are all here, I finished a book yesterday. Yay! That's 2 this week. It's not too shabby. I have doubled my output from last week. So yesterday I finished listening to The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah M. Eden. I did have this one on audio, so thank you very much to Shadow Mountain Publishing, as it was an e-arc from NetGalley. But it is available on Audible. It's an Audible exclusive, so you can't find it anywhere else, unfortunately. But if you subscribe to the Audible Plus package, is that what it's called? I just get my Audible credit every month. So I am automatically part of the Plus package. This book is included. I don't know if this entire series is included, but this book is included. So this was a really fun story. So, gosh, why am I drawing a blank on our characters' names? I am totally drawing a blank on our characters' names. And I think the reason is because there were so many characters in this story. Anna is the female lead. I cannot remember the male lead's name. I'm so sorry. But he is he writes Penny Dreadfuls, and he's writing this story about this little boy who ends up by accident getting lost in a storm and ending up in a school for ghosts. And the ghosts decide to kind of adopt him because he's got no family. And they call him, what do they call him? Oh my gosh, it was the most perfect name. A perishable. They refer to him, a human, as a perishable. So intermixed between the main story, you're getting this secondary story that was written by our male lead, about this ghost school in this like Penny Dreadful, which was just absolutely charming and delightful. You're also getting another story. So there are 3 stories within this one story. So it's kind of something you've got to pay a bit more attention to what is happening where, because there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of characters. So the one great thing is that this little story about this little boy in this ghost school was very far removed in a way. I mean, there were certain elements of the plot that matched elements of the other plots of like fitting in and just close my laptop, fitting in and things like that. You know, where do you belong? Where is home? Stuff like that. Like those were themes that were kind of throughout the entire book, but it was a very different story from the other 2 stories. So I was really able to differentiate that one very much. The other story within a story was written by the female lead from the first book, who also writes Penny Dreadfuls, and that story is called The Gentleman and the Thief. And it is about this guy who has a estate, and there's this woman who lives on the estate with her father. Her father's like the caretaker of the estate, so she's grown up there. She's best friends with the lord of the manor, like they were children at the same time. His father has since passed away. He's now the lord of the manor. She is his friend. Like, that has never changed. And all these things are suddenly starting to go missing. And that's kind of that story there. And then our main story, which is, you know, between the man who writes these Penny Dreadfuls and a woman by the name of Annie, is about her being a thief. He is a gentleman, or came from that kind of a family. The family fell on some hard times. His brother gambled away a good portion of the family fortune. And she had a very similar instance where her father, who, sorry, I'm just making sure I can log in here. I'm not on yet. I'm still on lunch. Sorry, that was just my phone ringing, my work phone ringing. And I still have 10 minutes. So, essentially, I just got kicked off. I'm all over the place, you guys. I'm so sorry. So anyway, I'll deal with that in a minute. So anyway, her father had all this money that was invested, and he lost all the money, and the people who invested from him, while they did get paid back, felt like they were owed something as well on top of from this man. So they began actually, like, these people would go into their home and steal stuff from their house. trinkets and bobbins and, stuff that wouldn't have necessarily been worth anything because they didn't have a ton of money, but stuff that was sentimental. So Annie, is it Anne or Annie? Our female lead is the thief, but she's like Robin Hood in a way. She is going to these people's houses and like for events and things like that. She's not breaking in, like she's not like a cat burglar, but she's getting invited to these like soirees and stuff. And while she's there, she's getting back the stuff that was stolen from her family. And as she says, like, she's a very upstanding thief because she will only steal back from the people who originally took from her. She tries as much as she can to actually buy items back. Like if they end up getting pawned somewhere, she will try and buy them back. Or if they've been pawned and somebody else has bought them, she won't try and steal them because that person, unbeknownst to them, bought it, even though they knew it wasn't technically for sale, if that makes sense. So also within all of this, like, our male lead is trying to find out who this thief is. So you as the reader know that she's thieving, but you don't know, like, he knows, right? And all these other people in the Dread Penny Society are trying to find out these thieves. There's this other thing going on. There's so, like I said, guys, there are so many moving parts in this book. That's why this review is so discombobulated, because there's so, this story does not go in a, from start to finish. There's like, it branches off and forks over here and goes over there and does this. And yeah, it's a lot going on. That's what I mean. You've really got to pay attention to it. But there's these little children on the streets who are working for this man called Four Finger Mike, and they're stealing from him. And if they don't steal for him and bring stuff back, they could get murdered. So there's a lot going on. At the end of the day, I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I do recommend it. Read the first book first. Cannot remember what the first book is called. I'm so horrible, you guys. But read the first book first. This is the Dread Penny Society series by Sarah M. Eden. And yeah, I liked it a lot. Victorian London is the setting. It was charming and delightful, and I really liked it. So that's basically what I spent most of my day reading yesterday. And then last night, just before bed, I did start Paradise Cove by Jenny Holiday, which is the second book in the Matchmaker Bay series. This is a contemporary romance series that takes place in Canada, not far from London, Ontario. The Guelph, London area for anyone else who is in Canada or in Ontario, on the shores of Lake Huron. So it's a very Canadian, which I kind of love because you're getting a ton of Canadian references. I plan on actually finishing this book today. It's not a very long audiobook, so I will report back on it tomorrow. I'm not going to share everything now to share it all again with you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow I will also show you some crafty stuff. I've added some more squares to my blanket. I've been working on my sock, but I promise I'll have more time tomorrow. I do have to get logged onto my computer to get back into work. And yeah, so that's it, you guys. Sorry again, the review was a bit all over the place, but the book, like I said, does not follow a straight line. It veers off in a lot of different directions, but it still really is a lot of fun. So I do absolutely recommend it. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi, friends. Happy Thursday. Today is the 23rd of June, and it is about 3:45 in the afternoon. I just finished having my lunch. I am working from home today, which was great. I just had my lunch. I had macaroni salad and a hot dog, in case anyone is curious. And so I thought I would sit down here and talk to you because I did not talk to you guys this morning. So I didn't go for a walk this morning. I took the day off because my lower back was bugging me a little bit this morning when I woke up, and I thought I don't want to push anything. So I've been walking 4 days already. I'm taking today off, and I think I'm going to go for another walk tomorrow because I did actually miss doing it this morning. But I think, like I said earlier this week, I'm going to go down to the lake. There's some beautiful walking trails down at the lake, and it's not a far drive. It's about a 5-minute drive for me. So I'll go down there, park the car. My husband's like, "Are you going to walk to the lake?" I'm like, "No," because I would get halfway there and be like, "I'm good," and end up walking home. But no, I'm going to drive down, park at the lake, take a walk. So of course I will have my phone on me so I can get some video for you guys. So reading update for today. And then I thought I'd show you some craft stuff because I haven't done that really this week. So yeah. I finished a book this morning. I think, I mentioned while I was doing admin stuff. I finished reading Paradise Cove by Jenny Holiday. This is the second book in the Matchmaker Bay series. There's 3 books in the series. I don't know if she's going to be writing any more or not. I've read book 1. I've now read book 2, so I do need to get to book number 3. I liked this. I gave it 3.5 stars, but the trope or the plot of this book was extremely similar to a book that I finished last month that I liked a lot better. So the plot of the story is a woman who is from the big city. She's a doctor. She moves to the small town and she opens up a practice. The old doctor had retired, and she's got this practice. So she ends up falling for a local guy in town, and this guy, he has a bit of a tragic backstory involving his child. So, I mean, if all of this sounds very similar, it was pretty much the same plot of Butterfly Bayou by Lexi Blake that I read last month. But like I said, this is Paradise Cove by Jenny Holiday. So the biggest differences, of course, is the location. So what I love about this series is that it's set in small town Ontario, Canada. It is set in, and I think I mentioned this in a previous clip, it's on the shores of Lake Huron, somewhere, for anyone else who's in the province of Ontario, it's like, they mention towns like London, Guelph, Stratford is mentioned in here. Not the Stratford in England, but Stratford here in Ontario. So for those of you who are in the know for the area, it's on the shores of Lake Huron. I mean, it's a made-up town, but it's located there. So anyway, so like I said, that was the plot. This woman by the name of Nora moves from Toronto, and she starts this practice that she bought off of this guy, the old town doctor who was retiring, and she ends up falling for this local guy named Jake, and the way he's described, it sounds like Jason Momoa, like the guy who plays Aquaman, even right down to long hair and all this stuff. So they start this relationship and blah, blah, blah. He's got a very tragic backstory involving his son who died when he was very young. He was only like 9 months old when his son died. And he died of complications from the flu, from catching the flu. So there is a lot in this book, to be honest, about vaccines and getting vaccinated, which I am 100% behind. Vaccinate. That's why they were invented. So, and Jake holds a lot of grief and a lot of he blames himself a great deal for not getting his son vaccinated, because it's not like he did it because he doesn't believe in vaccines, but because his son was like 9 months old, and it was like, okay, so the town doctor really wasn't there at the time or something like that. So he was going to wait until they took him, or no, there was a town doctor, but he wanted to wait till they took him to the pediatrician, like in the bigger city. And unfortunately, in that time period, he did develop the flu and he ended up dying. So he holds a lot of blame, saying, if I had just done the shots when I had the chance to, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And like Nora, as a doctor, is trying to explain to him that, no, you do need two, like, your first one and then your booster, if you will. And then that really protects you. So even if he'd gotten the first one, it wouldn't have necessarily stopped. So it's a whole thing, and I really liked the explanation that she gave for it and stuff. So anyway, they end up having this relationship, but neither one of them is really looking for anything, and then, of course, it turns into something more, and blah, blah, blah. So I actually, to be completely honest, like I said, the plot line is extremely similar to Butterfly Bayou, and I liked Butterfly Bayou better. Like, if you guys watch my vlogs from last month, I think I gave that book a 4.5 stars. I loved that book so much. The difference between that one and this one, I mean, they both take place in a small town. The writing was comparable. I like both authors. If I had read this book first, it may have gotten a higher star rating than it did. Unfortunately, coming off the heels of Butterfly Bayou, I was like, what I felt from that book was that it was so much more emotional. We got so much more invested, I felt, in the characters emotionally. Whereas I felt this one with Paradise Cove was much more of a physical relationship between our characters. I mean, it was like, once they started doing it, that's pretty much all they did. As to the reader, that's how it felt anyway. And there are some of you out there who are like, yeah, that's what I'm signing up for, so I will read the heck out of this book. But for me, I mean, again, I've said it before, it doesn't bother me, but I want the emotional attachment to the characters as well, and I just didn't feel like it was there. A situation happens at the end of this book that just, and it's one of those things where, are you staying together because you do care about each other, or because this thing happened? And I'm sure just me saying that, you all know what that thing is that I'm talking about. So yeah, it's one of those, to me, it's like, it makes it easy to get the characters back together if we do this. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that the author did anything wrong. It's just, it's a trope that I see used a lot that just ties everything up in a neat bow very easily. And I kind of would like to, you know, and I've always questioned that. Like, again, are they staying together because they do care about each other, or is it for this other reason? So anyway, end of the day, I mean, it was cute. It was fun. It was very smoking hot. I'll tell you guys that. I mean, Jenny Holiday can write a love scene. It's very well done. I love the small town aspect of this book, but if this is kind of the trope that you're looking for, I recommend checking out Lexi Blake's books as well. You know, if you've read this one and you enjoyed it, try the Lexi Blake series, or Butterfly Bayou, which is the first in that series. So that's what I finished reading today. Currently reading, I'm still working on The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers. My goal is to get it done today or tomorrow. I do interview her tomorrow here on the channel, but it's okay. You know, I'm pretty much done the book at this point, so I have enough that I can talk to her on this book, because the whole thing in the interview is we're not giving any spoilers anyway, so, you know. And I do plan either later today or tomorrow to start on audio Death in the Sunshine by Steph Broadrib, I think is how you say the author's name. This is book 1 in the Retired Detectives Club series or something like that. A bunch of retired detectives in a senior's home in Florida are going to solve crimes, and I'm here for it, so I'm really looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, so that's it for the books. Little crafty stuff. So I showed you guys this, I think, at the beginning of the week, my sock yarn blanket, my new sock yarn blanket. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know I had another one of these that it got a little too unwieldy, so that's why I've changed the way I'm doing this one. And I am taking squares out of that one to reuse the yarn in case anyone's curious. So, pardon me, I've got the hiccups. So there is the full blanket that I have so far. So this week I have added in these 5 squares. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and today's. So there are another 5 squares into the blanket. Very, very happy with it. So yeah, my goal is to kind of put a square in every day if I can. If I forget, I forget. It's not a big deal. It's fun to work on. It's a nice, quick, I like it in the mornings, drinking my coffee and putting a square into the blanket. The other thing is, as you guys might know, is that I am participating in a knitting challenge this summer, which is Summer Sock Camp, hosted by the crazy sock lady. Oh, hi, Bernard. Bean just came in here. Hi, baby. And the goal is to knit socks over the course of the summer, essentially. And the thing is, you have to start the socks. So it is like, when you finish socks, you can enter them in to win potential prizes. I know I'm not going to be eligible for any prizes. This is huge. If you're in the knitting community online, this is absolutely massive, and there are tons and tons and tons of people entering. The chances of me winning are very slim. So I'm not working on that. I'm just knitting socks because I love to knit socks. But I have this pair that I'm almost done. So I've finished the leg, I've put the heel in, and I just need to finish the foot. So I'm trying to get this done. Even though it won't count for sock camp, I still want to get it done. So I thought I'd show you guys like now, and then I'll show you guys again on Sunday when I like finish off the vlog for the week. So where I have this little pumpkin stitch marker, because this is my Rhinebeck yarn, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which happens every October, which is why we have a pumpkin, because pumpkins mean October. Or October means pumpkins. So that's where I started on Monday. So I haven't done a ton of this, but I've gotten about that much knit. So I thought on Sunday I will show you guys how far I get. But all I need to do is finish the foot on this, and I have a pair of socks done. So I'm kind of working on finishing off some pairs of socks that I already have started on the needles. So tonight, that is my game plan, is to work on that while reading / watching TV. And the great thing about those socks is because they are just knitting, like there's no pattern to them. If I'm reading on my Kindle, I can read on my Kindle and still knit, which, you know, is a great magic trick that I can do. You know, I've mastered the art of doing it, but I have to be knitting something that has no pattern to it, that you're just literally knitting around and around. So yeah, anyway, I am rambling at this point, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And the next clip you guys will see, hopefully, will be me down at the lake tomorrow morning going on a walk. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. When I was younger, there never used to be a gate here. This used to be all open, and teenagers would vandalize quite badly. So I understand the need for the gate now, which I think is fantastic, and the marker. This is a pioneer cemetery from the people who lived in this area back the 1880s, 1890s, and also from what I was reading, 3 soldiers who washed ashore unidentified are buried here as well. A little bit of a history lesson. This tree came down, it looks fairly recently. We had a massive storm weeks ago. If you've been watching the vlog, you may remember me talking about it. But it looks like this tree came down. But you can hear it's a very peaceful place with the water and... But yeah, so a little bit of history of my town. A little pioneer cemetery. And I guess typically you'd be able to walk inside. So they're not stopping you from entering. But clearly there's caution tape now. And my assumption is because of the downed tree. So there's actually no headstones in here. It's more of a memorial. The original crown grant for lakefront property at the township of Pickering. 1800, the first white settler in Pickering, William Peak, settled here near the mouth of Dufferins Creek. He was a farmer, Indian trader, and interpreter. Peak, P-E-A-K, leased the land and later in 1807 purchased 170 acres here. He and his wife, Margaret, cleared the land for farming and raised the family on Simcoe Point, as did their descendants. Located on their farm is this family cemetery, the final resting place for many of the family who lived on Simcoe Point. Following is a list of people who are buried here. So we've got the family, and then at the very bottom, Miss Sparks, a neighbor, and 3 soldiers, bodies washed up on shore in 1899. So yeah, so James Peak, born 1798. Yeah, bit of history, you guys. Morning BookTube, happy Saturday. Today is the 25th of June. Yesterday I was just editing the vlog up until this point, and I noticed that yesterday I was saying it was Thursday. I'm like, no, it was Friday, and oh gosh, I needed a Friday. So yeah, today is Saturday. You probably saw some longer clips of me out for my walk this morning, just because I was down by the lake and it's so pretty out there that I wanted to show you guys. And I did a little talking clip, I guess, which I normally am not one to vlog in public, but if you couldn't tell, that area was like back from the trail. Like there's a clearly defined area that you can go walking up there to that little pioneer cemetery, but it's still off the beaten path, and it's not by much. Like you walk 2 seconds and you're back on the actual waterfront trail. So next Saturday, if I go again, I will go the other way, which isn't nearly as interesting. It's just literally along the lakefront. So I'm really fortunate to live as close as I do to one of the Great Lakes because they are beautiful, and the town of Ajax, where I live, keeps it really, really nice. I think I might actually go next Friday as well because, like I mentioned already, it's going to be Canada Day. And I know they're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be doing too much early in the morning. I'm going to try and get there early enough before everybody else gets there. But I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to do like some sort of family day activities and stuff like that, like stuff for kids, and there'll probably be a parade. So I don't even know if I'm even going to be able to get near that area because the lake is really used, like that area is really used for stuff like that. So we shall see next week if I can get anywhere near there. But popping in this morning to say hello and to share with you guys that I finished a book yesterday. I finished another book yesterday because when I talked to you, I had finished Paradise Cove, I think in the morning. And then I sat down last night to watch. My husband had the hockey game on, and I just kind of sat down with him, and I finished reading The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It took me far too long to read, and it was not at all the fault of the book. That was purely on me. I think what happened is I lost my momentum on it, and I don't know if this happens to you guys, but like I was reading it and I was enjoying it, but then I kind of hit that bit of a reading slump. And at that point, I should have just maybe put it aside and picked up something new and then gone back to it. But I think I was like, in my brain, it was like part of the reading slump. Does that make sense? So anyway, at the end of the day, 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. This is a great, great story, great start of the series. So the series is called Honey Acres. This is the first book. Contained within this book is the prequel novella that I have not read yet. I did not get to that, but I did read the story itself. So this is the story of Tansy and Dane, and they grew up together. They've known each other their whole lives. They've lived in the small town of Honey, Texas, where, beekeeping and honey is like a big to-do. They are both beekeepers, and they have rival farms. So, she has a farm, she has a family farm, and he has a family farm, and they knew each other in high school, and something happened in high school that I'm not going to get into because it's kind of divulged as you're reading the book. But essentially, he was going to ask her to prom very spectacularly, using essentially the same, for those of you who know and love the very iconic scene from the movie Say Anything with John Cusack, where he's holding the boombox over his head, the Peter Gabriel song. So that scene is referenced, and that song is referenced quite a bit in this book, and I guess that's what Dane was going to do to ask her to prom. And there was a lot of miscommunication at the time. Her feelings were hurt, his feelings were hurt, and they haven't really talked since, even though they live in this same very small town in Texas. So they're kind of thrown together because they are both going to be heading up this junior beekeepers society thing. And, they're kind of forced to work together, and the story goes from there with their relationship. And it was so cute. And I mean, I use the word sweet, like with the honey aspect of it, but it really, really was sweet. I really liked in this as well, not only the relationship or romance between Tansy and Dane, but also the family dynamics for both families. So Tansy has a sister named Astrid, and they live together. She has another sister named Rosemary, who I think is away at school. So she's only mentioned in passing in this book. I'm hoping she's going to come back to town and get a book of her own at some point. So then there's the 2 aunts, Camille and Mags, or I think it's Margaret, short for Margaret, and they're sisters. And there's, some secrets between the 2 of them. So the girls, Tansy and Astrid and Rosemary, were raised by their aunts and their grandparents after the death of their parents. So their grandparents have now passed away as well. So it's just them and the aunts. And they have this big group of animals. The aunt, Camille, she adopts all of these stray animals. She has a parrot named Lord Byron who likes to steal things and make messes where he's not supposed to, And then also for Dane, he's dealing with a relationship with his younger brother, Leaf, and then issues with their father. The father's, their mother passed away, and then the father's remarried a couple of times, and he divorces every time, and he keeps marrying younger and younger women. And it's becoming a vicious cycle, and there's some issues there that Dane has kind of taken over care of his younger brother, who's still in high school, but the father's like, but I'm his father. It's my word is law kind of an idea. And even though Dane is the one doing all of the work. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this book, especially when it comes to the family dynamics. And I really, really liked that. I that's what I love about contemporary romance. These longer books that are part of these series that you're really diving into the family stuff. And I think that's really, really interesting. So yeah, end of the day, love this one, 4 stars. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series, and I'm super, super stoked about interviewing her this afternoon. So that interview will already be done by the time you guys see this vlog, but I hope if you didn't watch it at the time that maybe you'll go back and watch it, because I think I've chatted with her before, and I think chatting with her again is going to be an absolute delight. So yay, highly recommend this book. It does come out on Tuesday, so go ahead and pre-order your copy now, or head off to your local store on Tuesday and pick yourself up a copy. So what am I currently reading? I think I said yesterday that I was going to start reading Death in the Sunshine on audio. But after I finished reading, because I was really putting The Sweetest Thing as my focus yesterday to get it done, I decided when I was sitting down there, I wasn't exactly tired just yet, so I was hanging out for a little bit with my husband. So Death in the Sunshine, I did have it on my Kindle from NetGalley, but the formatting wasn't the greatest. That's one of the problems with some of the NetGalley. I'm not complaining, especially if you're reading it ahead of time, but because I was reading it, it's already been published. It's actually available on Kindle Unlimited, you guys. So I ended up just grabbing a copy on KU, and I'm reading it, and I decided just to sit and read it on my Kindle. So Death in the Sunshine, there's the cover of it. And I'm 5 chapters in. So I'm like, maybe later I'll pick it up on audio if I so desire, like if I go somewhere. This morning when I went for my walk, I wasn't actually listening to an audiobook. I ended up listening to a podcast because I haven't listened to podcasts in a while. And I realized I got a little bit of a backlog. So I need to listen to some podcasts. So that's what I was doing this morning. And they were really good too. So this is what I started. So as I mentioned yesterday, it's about a group of retired detectives, and they're actually British, but this takes place in Florida. So we have Moira is one of our main characters, and then there is it Philip and Lizzie? I think it's Philip and Lizzie. They are a married couple who are also British, who are living in this retirement home in Florida. And then there's Rick, who I guess lives there as well, but I don't know if he's American or British. But anyway, at the very beginning of the book, Moira finds a young woman dead in the pool in this retirement village. And the story's going to go from there, like the whodunit. And yeah, like I said, Moira and like the 4 of them are all retired detectives. So I will report back more on this one. It's actually a relatively quick read. Like those 5 chapters took me almost no time, it felt like, to read. So I think this one's going to move relatively quickly, which is kind of fantastic. And then last night, just before bed, I thought, okay, let's pick up another book because you guys know I like more than one book at a time. And I picked up Electric Idol by Katie Robert. I always say her name wrong. Katie Robert. I'm a chapter into this, you guys. That's it. Just one little sad little chapter into this. But this is the story of Psyche and Eros. Eros, am I saying it right? Yeah. So I talked about this one when I did my TBR for the month of June. So in the ultra-modern city of Olympus, there's always a price to pay. Psyche knew she'd have to face Aphrodite eventually, but she never expected her literal heart to be at stake, or for Aphrodite's gorgeous son to be the one ordered to strike the killing blow. Eros has no problem shedding blood. Raised to be his mother's knife in the dark, he's been conditioned to accept that he's more monster than man. But when it comes time to take out his latest target, he can't do it. Confused by his reaction to Psyche's unexpected kindness, he does the only thing he can think of to keep her safe. He binds her to him, body and soul. So this is the sizzling new chapter in the best-selling Dark Olympus series. Very spicy. I did read Neon Gods, and surprisingly enough for me, if you guys have been watching this channel for any length of time, you know I'm not a fan of dark romance. I'm really not. It's not my jam. But I gave Neon Gods 5 stars when I read it last year. So I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I love, and I think, and did actually study in school, Greek and Roman mythology. I'm very, very interested in it. So having this series, I find very interesting. Now, when I read Neon Gods, I'm pretty sure I read it like from the library. So I actually bought a copy. And if I enjoyed this one as much as I liked Neon Gods, I think I want to buy a copy of Neon Gods as well for my shelf. And I also have from NetGalley the 3rd book, Wicked Intentions. Is that the next one? It doesn't come out for another couple of weeks, I think. But I didn't realize, guys, there's a map in this and everything. So yeah, so this is a dark retelling. I mean, let's be fair. The Greek and Roman mythology, a lot of it is pretty dark to begin with. It's not exactly, unicorns and rainbows a lot of the time. So I will report back on this one. Like I said, I am 1 chapter into it, but I do have this one from NetGalley and I want to get it done. So I do actually have this one on audio from NetGalley, but I don't know. I have the physical edition. If I have time later today, I might pop in my earbuds and listen, like hybrid read. So like listen to it in my ears and read it on the page at the same time. But I bought this pretty book. So, but I should give a bit of a listen to the audio. I think the narrator's the same as the first one. So I can talk on that already, that I did like the narrator for the first one. So I'm sure they are doing a great job. Again, I think it was a dual narration. But anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, so that is what I'm currently reading right now. Anyway, guys, that is it. Hope you enjoyed this clip, and I will check in tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, friends. Happy Sunday. Today is, it feels weird sitting down doing a Sunday video. It's the 26th of June, and I am here with just a very, very quick little update to share with you that I didn't get much read yesterday at all. Yesterday, it was a bit of a busy day for me. It is currently 9:30. And I had to film a video for Harlequin this morning, and that is done. I just finished doing that. And then I am going to head out with my husband. We got to do some quick grocery shopping. And then I'm going to come home, and I'm going to edit the video for Harlequin and send it off to them. So that's done. And yeah, that's it. And then I'm going to relax for the rest of the day. They're calling for rain. It's kind of dark. You can probably, like, the glare of my glasses from the light. It's the best I can do because it's dark in this room right now. And yeah, luckily I had these off when I filmed the Harlequin videos, so, because that would have been bad. But anyway, yeah, yesterday was busy. I don't even remember what I was doing. For the first part of the day, I was just busy doing stuff, and then I was actually in a live show with Tiffany and Storm and Elizabeth from Lizzie Phalos Books. We were doing live sprints, and I was reading during the sprints, but the sprints weren't terribly long. So I got a bit of reading done on both Electric Idol and Death in the Sunshine, and both of them I have on audio. I grabbed Electric Idol from my library on audio, and Death in the Sunshine is on KU. So because it's on KU, I was able to pick up the audiobook from Audible a lot cheaper. So I did that, and that was kind of fantastic. So I got both of those, and I was listening to both of them on audio. My plan is to listen to both of them today as well. I would like to finish both of them today. I don't think that's going to happen, but we can dream, can't we? So yeah, that's kind of my goal for today. Once I get grocery shopping and I've done all the adulting that I need to do, I can come home and relax. But yeah, so yesterday, not a busy reading day, but I did get to interview Sasha Summers, which was wonderful. She is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to watch that interview yet, it's less than an hour. I'll leave it linked below. Please do check it out. It was fantastic talking to her. She was nervous, I was nervous, but it really just felt like a conversation between friends. So yeah, it was wonderful. But anyway, I'm rambling. I gotta go pick up some groceries. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi friends, it is Sunday evening. Yes, it's Sunday evening. It's almost 6 o'clock. I thought I would just pop on here with a very quick clip to finish off the vlog. So you may have seen a little clip just before this that I was at bingo today. I have not been to bingo. We went, I want to say it was like last summer or last fall, after they reopened a bunch of stuff, but everything was like, you had to be masked, and they had you know, it was a lot different than it would be to normally go to bingo. And we didn't win, and we were a little disappointed because they were only allowed to have so many people in the facility, so the prizes were lower because they couldn't have as many people there. And it just was disappointing, and Mom and I were like, oh, we don't want to spend our money. So then Garrett and I were at grocery shopping this morning, and then she texted me and she said, I'm at bingo, did you want to come? And I'm like, okay, so I ended up going. So you guys probably saw the little clip. I won like $26. It's a little game that you play on the machine at like intermission. But all in all, I walked out up money. So I came out with some money, which is always nice. It's not something I used to go to bingo all the time. For those of you who have been long watching viewers of the channel, but I wouldn't be going all the time. I don't have that kind of disposable income, but it was fun to go and I enjoyed it. So that's what I did. But the cool thing is while I was there, I've never done this before while I've been at bingo, because I can pay attention without listening to the caller. They have TV screens up that show you the balls, like show you the numbers as they come up. So I actually spent the entire, I think it was like 2.5 hours that we were there listening to an audiobook. So that was fantastic. So I was listening to, let me just reach, I've got all this stuff sitting here on the bed with me, including some candy that I bought when I was at the grocery store. So on audio, I've been listening to Death in the Sunshine by Steph Broadrib. So I'm about 60% of the way through this one, but the reason I want to check in right now is because I do not predict me finishing this book today. I'm doing other things. I'm watching some YouTube, and I've got this vlog to edit, and the Harlequin video that I did, that I talked about earlier, I gotta edit that. So, I've got some stuff to do, so essentially, but yeah. But that is what I've been spending my day reading today, and I've really, really been enjoying it. I got a good chunk of the way through this. It's not a cozy mystery. I can tell all of you that right now. It's not a cozy mystery. So stay tuned tomorrow. Stay tuned for my next vlog to hear my final thoughts on that book. I am still listening to Electric Idol by Casey Robert, but I just started that. I'm like 3 chapters in. So I decided to focus on this one today, and then I'll go to that one when I'm done this one. That's kind of my game plan. There are 2 other audiobooks I'd like to get to before the end of the month, but I don't think that's going to happen. Well, I have until Wednesday, so that's 4 books in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. I don't think so. Even I know I'm not that good at that much of a, I love to read, but even I don't think I can actually finish all of those. And yeah, that's about it, you guys. So crafting stuff, I do have it sitting here. So I just thought I would very quickly show you. So for my sock yarn blanket, I got squares added in this week. 1, 2, it would have been these 6. So these 6 right up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those are the 6. So I'm going to add one in today, and then I will show you guys next week where we are with this. But yeah, so there is the whole thing so far. Really, really enjoying it. And then as for my other knitting, my sock, I haven't done any cross stitch this week. Cross stitch is a lot. I love doing it, don't get me wrong. And I have lots of cross stitch projects on the go, but my weekends have been busy. For me, cross stitch is something that I can't just pull out and work on for 5 minutes. You kind of got to get set up with that. I need this out and I need this, and it feels like more of a production to sit down and stitch. And the problem is that at night, I don't have adequate lighting, and I need better lighting to be able to cross stitch at night. I used to have, I think I told you guys, I used to have this kind of cool thing that I'd wear around my neck that was like a little light on it, like a book light, essentially. But ever since I had the pacemaker put in, when I have that light sitting around my neck, I find that it puts pressure, and I've tried to bend it in such a, but anyway, it's like I said, I love to cross stitch, but it's production, and I prefer, like, if I have time on the weekends, like a good couple hours to sit and do it, then that's when I would do it. Whereas knitting, I can pick up and put down very, very easily. So that's why I'm tending to knit a bit more right now. But I did get some work done on this sock. My goal is to get the sock done in the next day or 2. So that's where I was when I showed you guys at the little pumpkin. And I've gotten that much done. So I'm halfway through the foot of this sock. Like I said, next vlog, this should be done. And then I can focus back again on the ones that I'm doing for the summer sock camp. So I'm just going to move the little stitch marker. So that way I can show you guys how far I get next week. So there, the little stitch marker's been moved. So yeah. So that's it. So quickly for my wrap up, I like to I've been forgetting to do this, but I finished 5 books this week, you guys. So I'm just going to go through very, very quickly what I finished. So I finished The Mystery of the Brass Bound Trunk by Carolyn Keene. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Nancy Drew Mystery Stories book number 17. And I did listen to it on audio. I talked about this at the beginning of the week. It was from a YouTuber named Penelope Heaven. She will be linked. Her channel will be linked below. Please do check it out. Then I finished The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah M. Eden. I gave this book 4 stars. It was book 2 in the Dread Penny Society series on audio, narrated by the great Justine Irie. Love her narration. And thank you very much to NetGalley and Shadow Mountain Publishing for sending me an e-art copy of this book to read and review. Then I finished Love Off Leash by Tara Taylor Quinn. Also gave this book 4 stars. Book 10 in the Forever Yours series. This is a Harlequin special edition book. This is one I have not talked about. You guys are like, wait, you didn't talk about that book this week. You would be correct. That's going to be in the vlog. Stay tuned. You'll see that vlog should go up on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that for my full thoughts on that book. Thank you very much to NetGalley and to Harlequin for sending me an e-art copy of that book to read and review. I also finished Paradise Cove by Jenny Holiday. Didn't particularly love this one, but I gave it 3.5 stars. Book 2 in the Matchmaker Bay series. On audio, it was narrated by Megan Kelly. I didn't love the narration either, but that's besides the point. And thank you very much to NetGalley and to Forever Publishing for sending me an eARC copy of this book to read and review. And last but not least, certainly not least, The Sweetest Thing by Sasha Summers. I listed it 4 stars, but I'm probably going to bump that up to a 4.5. Book 1 in the Honey Acres series. Again, thank you very much to NetGalley and to Harlequin Trade Publishing for sending me an eARC copy to read and review. I interviewed Sasha yesterday. She was an absolute delight. I said it there. I've said it already. I will say it again. Please go out and get yourself a copy of that book. It was fantastic. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this vlog. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And until next time, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.